Welcome to the School of Bitcoin. I think there's a few people late today. It's all right, but we got Michael and Karen. Thanks for jumping in, guys.
Good to see the three of you.
Yeah, well, we can probably get through a lot. Yeah. So there's a fair few updates today to run through. I was going to go through some Raspberry Pi stuff, but I might wait for Gordon to jump in because he really wanted to have a look at that for his students in the Digital Playhouse and Agnes Waters. So we'll wait for that. But I've officially signed up to the Australian Bitcoin industry body as of last night. So I'll be a member. So that should be pretty awesome. It means basically you have a say in how like I can bring up content. So, bring stuff up for them to pursue. So they talk to politicians and all sorts of stuff. So all the stuff that we're working through with the School of Bitcoin could potentially funnel through that and give us support as well. So I thought it'd be worth sort of biting the bullet and going ahead with that. So I've been meaning to for like months. I just kept forgetting about it, and it was like on my to-do. So like, oh, just get it done. So last night, so I'm officially a member now. I think they tweeted out at some point, so that should be cool. The Bitcoin Australia meetup. So on Thursday night, we've got the meetup. So that's pretty exciting. So we're doing stacks. Gordon's going to run it from Agnes Waters. We'll in Melbourne. We'll just be from home again until next month, where we can officially run it in the new space. So that'll be fine. I've got a new URL that I purchased for that. So I've got, so instead of just going to the School of Bitcoin / Bitcoin Australia Meetups updates.html, it's btcaud.org. So I bought btcaud.org and stacksaud.org. Instead of AUS, I thought it'd be cooler to use AUD because, AUD to BTC or AUD to stacks, or vice versa. So with that, we'll go through plans for Thursday when Gordon jumps in because he'll be running it. But we've set up a new Zoom. So the links are all updated on the website and on Meetups and pretty much everywhere, I think social media and everything as well. So you just click on the Zoom, or if you want to go into the VR space, it's the same link for that. And I'll be running the VR space from here. So anyone who wants to jump into that, more than welcome. So we've got the new URL for Stacks AUD, so stacksaud.org. With that, I had a really good chat with Adam yesterday. Here's a lecture. Adam from Stacks, and basically he's got a new framework for the Stacks communities to run through. And basically what it is upskilling or creating a flow basically for all of us to sort of work together. And it's once a week and then once a month, I think, or fortnightly meetups between the different ecosystems around the world, sort of thing. So there's London, there's New York, there's us, there's Hey Electra.
Sorry, no internet.
Oh, that's all right. There's Austin. So Austin are the one most similar to us that I've already met up with, and they're the ones running the Clarity Code camps and doing all the education stuff. But basically we get to meet up with them. So I don't know how he's going to timetable it for that was the big discussion. Like, I think more so for us than everyone else because we're as such a different time zone, but basically finding a happy medium. So either he's going to alternate it or figure out a way that's not so bad for us time wise. But with that, it means we get a whole lot of support and basically a path for us to sort of move forward with the Stacks community and potentially even branch out to cities rather than, just Australia. So we can have sort of subdivisions of what we have and roles and all that sort of thing. So pretty exciting. And with that, I don't know if Jill's jumping in, but she can watch this later. I did mention her card game as being a potential. So Michael, you probably haven't heard about that, but Jill, who's a member of the team, she had a really cool idea to build like an NFT card game for schools specifically that teaches you financial literacy. So like, in schools you have like, cards that teach you this and that. It's basically a game specifically for financial literacy, but with an NFT component for it. So it's such a cool idea. So I brought that up
Fantastic.
with Adam. Yeah, really cool. Brought that up with Adam yesterday, and yeah, he was like, well, that's definitely a candidate for applying for a grant, and there's other avenues that we can go through. So basically with the Stacks community that we have, it's finding these projects and helping people sort of build them out and then applying for grants. So it's pretty exciting for that. So he had a lot to say. The ClarityCamp, so there'll be a curriculum being built around that we can actually tap into, help contribute to, and then there's developers, and I think we've got a developer tomorrow night or Thursday night as well, for Clarity specifically, so NFTs and all that sort of stuff. So we can ask a lot of questions, but it means that we'll actually be able to contribute and then utilize some of that content as well. So that was really exciting. Going back to Element, so that was the next thing on my list. Electra, did you get a chance to have a look at that proposal from them? I haven't looked at it at all. I just forwarded it.
Yeah, I did. Can you hear me? Yep.
Yeah.
Look, briefly, I mean, it looked pretty cheap, I think, but we'd have to have a look at it together, I think. It was, I think your concern that you expressed was having it hosted on their servers. What are the alternatives?
Well, I think hosting on their servers is okay. I think that's good, and if they can give us support with that, because you can actually replicate the servers and have it like on your node or whatever. So because it's totally decentralized. My concern was the price, really, because I had it in my head that it was like free.
I'm just opening the message was okay, so this is initial quote, but on the base price for the lowest number of users, monthly active users, so we might have more users, but it's only based on how active users who log into the platform during the month.
Yeah,
with a not-for-profit discount of 20%. They originally said 10%, so they must want us. They haven't as yet included the Discord bridges. We don't know how much that would cost, but that's an important feature for us. So it would be priced at $40 per remote monthly active user. So if we were to get active users, I think we would need some kind of subscription model to support this as a charity.
Okay.
So I think people would need to contribute to $40 a month if they were going to be joining in our communities, to cover the infrastructure of our communication.
Well, it's something that we probably need to think about. I mean, for the moment. Oh, hey, Gordon.
Hey, g'day.
I mean, I'd really like the software, but if it's too expensive for us to utilize, then we can always sort of table it for later, I suppose. But
well, it's a case of, but is it what we need to scale with? Is it what we need to organize our? We need a minimum viable community. That's the new minimum viable product. And if this is the tool we need to use, then we need to. We can fundraise. It's every contribution that people make to Digital Playhouse is tax deductible. We can use that.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's true.
So it's people are getting value out of it. So if they're paying something, they might be more likely to be active. Yeah,
that's true.
So $40 a month for a member of our community, tax deductible, and all they got to do is just turn up and participate. And I guess we just got to let them know what value they're. We have to be sure we're providing value. What does everyone else think? We're talking about Element.
We're used to the free.
Well, it's not the free open source. It's the social and financial infrastructure that we're looking for.
However, the freedom that we've got comes at a cost of they own it all, and that's I had sort of left that. I was probably to you, and I thought you would look into it more. I hadn't formed an opinion on it, but I went 40 a month for how many, like every user.
And I'm trying to find the link to the.
I thought the money could probably be spent better elsewhere.
Yeah.
But,
so I wasn't. I couldn't really make sense of that $1,440 quote. I honestly didn't understand the quote that they sent us, because it doesn't incorporate that $40 per month active user at all. It just says $1,440. Admin box subscription, 25 users times 80 cents.
We could reach out to them for clarification, I suppose, to see.
Yeah, because it doesn't align with what they said. So $1,440 a month. So I'm not sure what it is, because it looks like $1,440 for 12 months. I'm not sure what they mean.
Have you seen it, Michael? Element? Have you come in contact with it?
I've heard of it, but I haven't actually opened it up and played with it and had it.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But it sounds very, very expensive. Like
it does.
That's
it's for educational institutions. And
okay.
We're a little one.
Yep.
If we want to
then
grow
it's not
to a
so
big one.
expensive.
So is it more of the case that you're talking active users as in active contributors, more than just people using the system? It's like, is the elements really more important for building the organization, or the organizations for more of the what we're creating we don't want lost? So you talked about what's the reason we're looking at it. We've got Discord, that's a community, but there's risks that Discord will get shut down. That's one of the primary reasons, of looking at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So it's about, so that would be, so to get a person who's how would say, for example, a teenager use, or do they need to use Element?
Yeah, well, that's the other question, because they've got the bridges. I kind of like the idea of them still on the front end using like Web 2 stuff, and then it talking to Web 3. So it's like a slow migration. So you're not just saying, pulling the rug out and saying you have to use this now. It's like a tandem system, so people sort of progress. Yeah.
And for that side of it, that's a really important part, is how do we transition to ownership of our own data and protecting our business against government, sovereign, whoever, whatever risk. That is important. But I'm thinking more of the user. I mean, they're not going to come up with $40 a month. No way.
Yeah.
Because I see it all the time. They use Telegram when we could all be using Sessions. We're way better off on Sessions, but no one uses it to the degree compared to what we could. We've got a group of us that talk in Sessions and use it, but everyone's in Telegram and everyone's in all of these loose data centers.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Well, and that it kind of, my last point as well that I was going to go to today it's kind of on the same note. So I was looking at like an LMS for us to utilize, and I know we've talked about this before. I was thinking potentially like spinning up. I've already spun one up, using Google Classroom again. So we have like a collaborative space where we can put up content, have students in there, and we're all sort of collaborating on projects together. I thought it might be a good way to sort of resurrect the Rocket Shoes project. So basically with Rocket Shoes, but the concept is you have Google Classroom on the front end, IPFS on the back end. So whatever stuff that the learners or the students, I don't like the fact they call them students and teachers in there, but whatevs. All that stuff actually gets pushed out or pulled out into an IPFS wallet for the people utilizing it. So I thought potentially we could start using that and see if we can get some funding to build out some of that components for that. So I'll share my screen and show you what I'm talking about. Where am I?
And is that I think it's great, Karen. It's like it's a resource. It's a lot of software gets built, part built, not used, and it can be, taken forward again.
Yeah,
and I think that was great. What you're building.
Well, this and like, I mean, it's a really clean interface as well. So like I've been using Moodle with Chisholm, and it's a bloody nightmare. It's one of the worst learning management systems I think has ever existed. Whereas Classroom, for its faults, like I mean, it is quite simple. Obviously, your data's owned by Google, but it's easy to use. We can bring in teachers, so we could all be teachers or students, whatever. You have your content that you can mark off, classwork, so we can literally, all of us can just create content in there. And then we have a stream of stuff, and it's super easy to get like to onboard students with. So if we have, or learners with, so if we have like, say a meetup like this, or whatever it is, like the homeschoolers that you have, we can put them in here, and then we can start creating content. So it doesn't have to be in real time like we're doing with this sort of stuff, or like, you know, sort of beaming into an event that we're having or whatever it is. We can actually put things in here and then follow up on it. So like, for example, Karen, your provocations, we could utilize this for that. And then on our roadmap, look at getting some funding to build out the rest of the IPFS wallets, so that the students or the learners own their content after that. But anyway, it's just an idea, but I thought, what do you guys reckon?
Well, we have Google nonprofits for our work, for Digital Playhouse's subscription to Google Workspace. So we could get it for free, potentially, it looks like.
Yeah, well, it is free anyway.
The
thing I wanted to look into with that is a cross-domain, and if we want to do this or not. So basically, if you have like a .edu.au or a .edu, you can only add students from within that domain with Google Classroom. And basically, if you have just at Gmail or like your own domain, I'm pretty sure you can add anybody. So that's something we should probably look into. So I've just made this with my Gmail account, but we could potentially look at the Digital Playhouse, assuming that we can add people from outside the domain into that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
But yeah,
rather than having to add them to our org.au domain.
Exactly, which would cost like a fortune to do.
Right.
So yeah, that was just something I thought of, and I thought it might be a good place where we can sort of collaborate, because we've got a lot of content, we've got resources, we've got curriculum built out. It's just not in a like one easy to access place for everybody, and there's no, like, to say like I can run you through, Karen, how you could do your provocations through there. We can even do like our Satoshi rewards through there as well, and it's just an easy to utilize space for everybody. But yeah, what do you guys reckon?
Yeah,
that sounds
good. I think it's that time. We've got all these, we've got the School of Bitcoin projects. I've got the Digital Playhouse onboarding people into crypto projects and funneling them. Then we've got the new Stacks stuff we're doing. It's funneling them into the education systems. Like, I think that's how if it's like bringing them into one place. And if it's a school, I think the School of Bitcoin's a great place to have it all going in.
100%. Well, and also I was thinking with my chat with Adam yesterday and having the content for Clarity, that's pretty much already sort of good to go from the sounds of it. It's just about upskilling us on how to run it. I thought this would be a good place to utilize that as well.
Yeah, I agree. That's that came back. Adam responded to an email there about that I sent about Meld Ventures and the likes, and about what's next there, and about he's come back to me and said, well, where's your point of action to funnel people? And so that was a question I had today, where are devs going to hang out? Where are they hanging out? Or is it in Discord? Is it on Telegram? Is it where? But where are we going to direct all our community?
Yep. And maybe this is the answer for that. I mean, Discord's great for certain stuff, but not for sort of didactic things, I don't think.
Yep.
So like, this is
getting down to learning and doing it. Yep.
Exactly.
And getting progress and showing evidence that you've got progress. And if you need help, who can help you? And
Exactly. And the cool thing is, like,
I think it's great.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll kick off with that then, I reckon. So
that will then help. It'll really help go back to the core of growing the School of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Without having to create another whole community, just bring them all in through there now.
Yeah.
But with all that, with our different brands and bringing them into the system, and they can go out and build the projects.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right.
Sorry,
go ahead.
It's also an avenue where we can alert learners of all kinds, including teachers and students, of accessibility to free materials that are there to be used. I wasn't at the meeting last week on Wednesday afternoon because Casper de Bono had invited me to talk with him. And one of the things that he spoke about was the materials that are freely available for teachers and students. Now, how many teachers and students know about that?
Yep.
And to help alert people to what's out there, you don't have to be all caught up with costs and textbooks or memberships here and there. There are other things too that are freely available for educators. And hey, aren't we all educators in different ways? But people don't know about them because they're not big into the marketing side of it. They're more into the actions, the doing and the thinking.
Yeah, 100%. There's so much content out there. You're right. Having a cohesive space for that is really important. So I think that's kind of what we've been building. So we've got like our resources, we've got our curriculum design. It's just having a LMS. I mean, I don't even like the term LMS. I think it's like the opposite of how people learn, really, learning management systems. It's such a gross terminology. I like Matt Riddle actually had a really good term he used to use for rocket shoes, and it's a learning relationship system. So instead of it saying you have to do this and then that, it's creating relationships between people for learning. And I think that's really important. And I think if we can build out that piece again, like we've got the code and stuff still. I'll reach out to Matt and see if he wants to jump into a meeting with us to discuss it. But I think it'll be
could that be the blockchain element that be brought over to Stacks from where it was at NEM?
For sure. I think realistically, the magic piece for that was IPFS. So I mean,
correct.
Yeah, it's cool. Like uploading stuff and having a stamp on the blockchain that you uploaded it. I mean, that's cool in terms of like submissions and did you get this work in on time sort of stuff. That's very like, in my opinion, pretty antiquated, really.
Right.
Like it's not how people learn, but fine. For institutions,
we got the NFT certificates and things, which is
but yes,
the blockchain part wasn't a critical part. It's really the rocket users and IPFS project.
Well, actually, critical. It wasn't the critical part to me, I suppose, but like to institutions. So like the unis that we were working with to build it out, yes, that was like the critical piece. So like they didn't care about ownership so much; they cared more about the timestamping and submission.
Okay.
And so yeah, I guess it is important. It just depends who you're speaking to. So yeah, I think we could potentially build that out on Stacks as well. Why not? Like, I mean, it's the code's there and it works. The APIs are open with Google Classroom. I think it's having a community behind that, and then at the endpoint, like the most exciting part, like running it at Warana, because we ran Google Classroom across the board, was utilizing it with students, and then them being able to log into the IPFS wallet, and then taking that out, and it's theirs, right? So it's the submission part didn't really excite me at all, but it is probably critical to a lot of institutions. So yeah, good point, Gordon. We can definitely pursue that.
On the free side, I had a look at the digital license, the digital literacy license. There was a program that I posted in the Discord. A group have created this digital literacy license.
Yes.
I looked at it all. There's so much cost involved and everything. I'm going like I looked at it and went, and the document about the whole learning system was so long. I mean, it must look, without a criticism, it was very, very in depth. And I thought I'd love to, that whole huge expense for everyone to get a digital license. I thought it's just we've got to do it open source free. It's like.
Yeah,
I think we can fund it through other means. There's enough money around in Australia and the world to be able to provide, like learn by donation is what we're learning here.
Yeah.
If you come and learn and you've got some money, put some money in and let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Hopefully that model.
Well, and I like the model as well. So like on the timeline or our path for rocket shoes, we had the concept of flipping that. So like instead of institutions paying for hosting and for the service, you actually pay them and pay the end students through at the time, like Filecoin was just about to launch. So like we're thinking, okay, well, you can, instead of having this big server sitting there, why not distribute that across like every institution and have all of them supporting each other? It's just the protocol with that, and then down to the end user, which is a student, paying them to host some of the files on their phone or their laptop or whatever it is. So that's definitely, I think that model is still, I think it's still relevant, and it's still something that I think a lot of systems are sort of moving towards, right? So like that decentralized model, you don't pay these big organizations, like they can potentially pay you. I think that's kind of the way forward. So I mean, we could still pursue that as well, and that's something we could probably do on Stacks too. I mentioned earlier before you guys jumped in, I am officially a member of the Australian Bitcoin Industry Body, so ABIB. I did that last night. It's been on my to-do list forever, and I finally did it. So that kind of gives me access to their community, and I get a say in sort of what they pursue and stuff. So I'm thinking for Score Bitcoin, we can probably integrate some of that stuff in, and probably have a say around Stacks as well, because I think the even Adam was saying yesterday, there's you get a lot of the maxis that are pushing back against it, but then there's a lot that are kind of changing their mindsets as well. So like looking at, it's a token, but it's a layer 2 solution, as you were saying earlier, Michael. Like there's a lot of people sort of coming across into that ecosystem. So yeah, it's exciting.
So those guys have their Bitcoin meetup now in VR. I think it's from 9 till 12. I'm pretty sure it's on a Wednesday.
Is it on a Wednesday? Okay, right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm in that Telegram chat. They're actually interested to say, we're come and present, because they are Bitcoin only. They had a meetup in Yeppoon last weekend. I think I didn't get to go up there. So it'd be interesting. They were definitely, hey, we're interested in listening to what you've got on Stacks. So it might be idea I put you in touch with the guy that I've been chatting to, like as in I joined the community, and he said, talk to us, because it's okay. The Bitcoin community at the moment, they're certainly all behind Lightning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So there's RSK, there's Lightning. It's all Bitcoin in that sense, and it's all experimentation.
Yeah.
And then I think also bringing over into the narrative that Trust Machines is going to be exploring every avenue on top of Bitcoin, including what Stacks, how integrating different things with Lightning. I posted a chat from Manib that in Dan Held joining Trust
Michael
Machines
this morning.
And it was pretty much like, hey, we're open to learn to investigate anything, everything, and they're also talking about working with the Ethereum virtual machine and getting devs to come and see how that can be interactive with Bitcoin. So
interesting. Yeah.
So it's up to at the end of the day, if it's going to be more transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain, well, Bitcoin community should be going, okay, well, that's good. It keeps the ecosystem raging along.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's cool. And I installed there's an app for Liquid as well yesterday to have a play around with. What's it called? Blockstream Green. So it's got Liquid integrated into it. So worth having a look at some stage. I haven't looked at
Blockstream satellites.
There's a lot of tech, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's so much tech. It's just like incredible.
Yeah, it's great. And it's getting bigger and bigger. It's like, oh my God, so much stuff to look at.
The smorgasbord, but which one's the best to taste?
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So it's a Liquid wallet, not a Lightning wallet. Sorry.
It's a different technology.
Yeah, Liquid specifically.
Okay, I have to
that.
Which I haven't.
Another application on Bitcoin.
The only reason I got it was to integrate it. So I noticed it was on Citadel to connect. So I was like, oh, cool. So I set it up, connected it. I'm like, oh, it's Liquid specifically. Cool. So yeah, it's something else to play around with. But the Raspberry Pi stuff. So I wanted to get into that because I know you guys were looking at getting some potentially.
I need to. So where I'm at, I was like, I've got a laptop and I've got a desktop computer and I know what a server is, but this Raspberry Pi and all that stuff, I don't know anything about all that stuff. So give us the 0 to give us even a weekly what we've got to do. What's
Yeah.
next? Buy a kit or buy an existing unit was my question.
So
Teach us here and then we'll teach others.
yeah. So I had some thoughts around that. There's a number of points to that, right? So obviously the prices have gone right up, which is crazy. But basically I was thinking in terms of the hardware, I was thinking kit initially, and I thought, no, that's probably the wrong thing. That's the wrong advice. I think getting just the board itself, you could probably get away with a 2 gig. I'd probably recommend a 4 gig if you can afford it. These, to put it in perspective, Karen, these used to be $30 each. They're like 130 if you can find them, which is crazy. It's all inflation, I suppose, and
they're not going to get cheaper.
Not going to get cheaper. No.
At the moment, there's a big semiconductor war going on.
Yeah, that's right. But I was thinking with these, and I might put all this stuff into the Google Classroom as well, so we have it in there, and you can sort of follow some stuff and do step by step. But at least get one of these. If you can get a 4 gig, even an 8 gig would be great. And then from there,
we're ordering some today with the homeschoolers. I'm gonna contribute. I'm gonna fund it and just get four or something for these kids that are turning up every week that are keen.
Awesome. That'll be really good. Well, from there, I wanted to just bring up I've just had a quick look at some of my old stuff from Warana with the Raspberry Pi stuff that we did. That's what got me thinking.
Okay.
There's so many things that you can do with it, and designing your own cases is one of them. So this is a lab that we built. So we built a Raspberry Pi lab, and the kids designed the cases, picked the operating systems, and basically they picked out Chrome OS. So that's actually what you're running at the moment, Karen, on your computer. But instead of it being like a $500 laptop, hey kitty, who's that, Michael?
This is my little man.
So instead of it being a $500 laptop, it was a $30 board. The kids designed, 3D printed their cases, and we built this awesome lab that, they had ownership over, and they did deep research into like which operating systems they could run on that. So that's something you could do with the homeschoolers as well. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to run Citadel. Why don't you research your own distros, and we can actually build out some really cool and funky looking designs with them as well. We actually got the kids to like draw them up beforehand. So that was, if you know Minecraft, that's a creeper on top of a Raspberry Pi case, which I thought was pretty cool. Got them to design it. One kid did so this is all in Tinkercad, designing their own stuff. One kid did a
cool
dinosaur head for one of the cases, which I thought was pretty awesome. That's the Chrome box. So for a time, Google was like selling these Chrome boxes. I don't think they do it anymore, but it's basically Chrome OS on a box that you could buy. And these kids like built one for $30 or less than and printed the case for it. We did a Pi Station as well. So it's a PlayStation emulator, all the games on there, and the kids put that together. Oh, there's mine. Actually, if you haven't seen that, that's my stack of nodes that I'm rocking here. So that's actually talking to my nodes specifically, and I'm running my node, an IPFS node, and Citadel on the bottom there with a 2 terabyte hard drive.
Is that a stack of Raspberry Pis or one Raspberry Pi?
Yeah, I actually bought a case that you can stack them all together.
What's the purpose of having a stack?
Just looks cool.
Okay.
And it was fun. Well, actually, and a stack of technology as well, right? So like one's IPFS, one's Pi-hole, which actually blocks like bad traffic coming into your network. One's Citadel, and one's my node. So it's 2 different Bitcoin nodes. Just to have
each running on a separate Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
There's little screens you can buy. So this is one I remember we built out. It was like I forget the name of it, but it's basically monitors like network traffic. So you can see like just run the screen for it, sit it somewhere in your network, and you can see it all coming through in real time. I'll find the name of it because it was a cool project that you could do in the learning space. Oh, there's that one again. I think that was all I had a bunch more, but I couldn't find them. But anyway, I'll share that with you. So it's a few ideas, but I think the concept of them actually like designing their own cases and designing their own lab, it was really, really powerful. So like getting one of these boards and starting with that, I think is kind of the way to go. This is like another one that I've got here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a little Nintendo case. And we actually like 3D printed SSD cases to go with it, sort of thing. I was actually running a node on that at one point. But the other thing you can do, so Tinkercad obviously you've probably used. The other thing you can do is go along to Thingiverse. So if you search Raspberry Pi 4 on Thingiverse, there's a whole bunch of really cool, there's a Nintendo one, really cool things you can download. So cases you can download, projects you can download. They've got like all sorts of crazy stuff. A rack build. So if you have a rack somewhere, you can actually plug them into a rack and away you go. But the cool thing with this is you can actually import these files into Tinkercad. So if you got Tinkercad running, you export from here, import to Tinkercad, and the kids can build on top of that. So a lot of the stuff that we did at Warana was actually that. So them like finding like a Raspberry Pi case, and you saw that creeper on top of the case. That's actually like two designs that were already pre-built, and they married them together, sort of thing. You could build a watch if you wanted to. It's crazy. But anyway,
that's cool. The kids had Maria, who's part of Startup Blokes, and she's got a group of 10 kids doing Tinkercad at the moment.
Perfect. They could do that.
They're up in Gladstone. But...
So you could build something like that. That'd be awesome. So redundancy, if you wanted to. So like, I'm guessing it's just a Pi NAS, but you could do like say 1 terabyte, and then have your redundancy for your node or whatever. My other thought was as well, going back to here, what did I have? Yeah, this guy. So you can actually run them on still, like it won't be Citadel because Citadel won't support it. But if you wanted to get some cheaper Pis, like get the 3B Plus, and then you can still, like, it's convoluted, but you can still run a node on there and then still go through all this process, build out your case and all the rest of it. And then you could probably get more students doing it rather than, just a few. So I was thinking kind of do both maybe. So you have your, a group project kind of building a Raspberry Pi 4. So it's like your big one you're working on together, and then we can collaborate between the spaces. And then a smaller projects where they're actually building like just Raspberry Pi 3s with like, 1 terabyte hard drives or something. The only thing is, the other thing I'll mention as well, with
you posted that one in there? Yeah.
With syncing, yeah, I did, yeah. With syncing to the node, or to the blockchain, sorry. If you're running just a HDD, so a hard drive, like a spinning hard drive, it'll take months to actually sync the blockchain to that node, because it has to authenticate with the blockchain, and it puts it on like a part of the disk that is the process is quite slow. If you have an SSD, or even better, an M.2, the process is like a couple of days or 3 days or whatever it is. So it's a huge difference. The only thing is the cost. So I'd probably recommend for your main rig getting a 2 terabyte, so it's sort of future proofed, SSD specifically, and then sort of building out from that. But yeah, that's the main difference. So you can still do it. So I can do both. Have your little projects on Raspberry Pi 3s running through this, and then the maybe 1 or 2 main ones, like with the more expensive units, which is ridiculous. Like the whole concept of Raspberry Pi was like a cheap computer that anybody can get, and now it's just like, well, we're paying like $500 to get a node up and running, but it's still cool and totally worth it. And I think yesterday being Bitcoin Independence Day, which I thought was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, running your own node is super important. So I think, running through some of this stuff and just giving it a go is probably the best place to start. And then we can jump into Lightning as well. So if we can all get our nodes up and running, we can figure out how to do channels between us. I've got one running with Tigs that actually isn't working properly. So I think you need more people to get, and probably more BTC to get the channels open or something. But that'll be a fun thing that we can sort of collaborate on. And then there's all those other apps in the Citadel that we can, so like Element's one of them. So we could just do that to play with and run it between our nodes sort of thing. So lots of little things we can do. So that was it on the Raspberry Pis. I might put all this into the Google Classroom, so then we have like a place to keep it. Maybe we'll start doing that more in the future, sort of thing.
Yeah, and for us helping learners there and us learning, it's like that step. Okay, you know, we got buy your Raspberry Pi here, buy a terabyte hard drive, you know, like a couple of links so we can get the parts together, and that'd be awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
Michael, I was thinking after our chat on Sunday, it's a bit of that there's so much tech going on in the Bitcoin world, all the other blockchain worlds, all the what the new infrastructure of the central digital currency system is going to look like. It's all, you know, I think from it, it's like you've got the hardcore self-sovereigners and the hardcore Bitcoiners, and then we're just ordinary people who are learning and navigating this system. And that, Kieran, you yesterday going like you're self-sovereign, where you've got that, and it's like you're still in the normal world, but you've got that there, and it's your backup gig. It's like the other than them knocking your door down, you've got your own system, you know?
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. I think that's
then you can go, at least you've gotten to that stage, and then you can actually be that, rather than making it just, I've got to get there and I'm not going to be on the old system, because the other system's there and who knows what it's all going to look like.
Yeah, exactly.
But making sure we get that
100%.
sovereignty. So, and actually getting people doing it, you know, getting them running their nodes and getting them learning the tech or.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, Michael, you were going to say?
I'm really interested in getting this this Raspberry Pi thing up and running. Actually doing it myself, so then I can you know, introduce it to everyone else and take them through the actual process, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
This is really interesting. It's
and
wonderful.
The other thing with it, like, that's me sort of stumbling in the dark, getting it up and running, right? So if we can like put it out there as a cohesive thing that other people can follow along, I reckon that'd be really, really worthwhile, and probably a good starting point, I think, rather than, you know, go and buy some Bitcoin or, you know, go and trade this. How about you build one of these, and then you can be part of the ecosystem, and then you can look at the other side of it. I think it might be the best jump off point. Sorry, Karen, yeah, go ahead.
No, I just want to add to what you've all been saying about it. What you've been explaining now to us as a group, learning from each other, is an example of modeling. Modeling is such a powerful cultural force. We know, talk about peer group pressure and what other kids are doing, but actually modeling yourselves when you're coming across something that's completely new to you, and letting the kids know that, hey, you don't know everything that's going on in the digital world because you're the gurus, you know. And but kids hearing Raspberry Pi, but I love Raspberry Pi, it's so delicious, you know. What are you talking about? But, you know, like Gordon started off saying, hey, let's go right to the beginning, step one. And to tell the kids that, you know, like your homeschoolers and like other people, I didn't know about it. And sometimes when you don't know something, you want to run away from it or say, forget it, or get someone else to do it for you. But hey, what I did was I asked someone who knew a bit more, and we went through it step by step. So I'm learning with you. Let's do it together. And that way you all become learners and modeling to each other, hey, what you've done, and sharing things that didn't work and things that did and the steps that were the best ones. And that's very empowering and giving students, learners, agency that, hey, we all don't know everything, but that's not a reason not to learn it. Hey, let's do it together. 100%,
Karen. And that's exactly the experience we had, like building that Raspberry Pi lab. Everything would break like every day. It'd be like, oh, okay, let's try again. Let's try this. Let's try that. And it was the kids sort of researching themselves and then getting stuff together. And it was actually the cybersecurity grads that came in helped the students as well. So at Warana, so it was like that collaborative learning where they had a bit of experience with that, but it was everyone kind of pretty fresh with the idea. So it was everyone kind of learning together, myself included. So
Yeah,
I
and
think
not being embarrassed or ashamed that you don't know.
No. Well, you can't be.
Better that you're not and say straight out, look, I don't know anything about it. Please tell me.
Exactly right. Or we'll research it together, sort of thing.
And I think to
okay.
accelerate participation, what I'm learning is like you did at the school and what I think Electra's doing with the accountants. You're just getting in and doing this. It's no talk fest. You can go attend a webinar, that doesn't do anything. It's like get in and start plugging things in, buy the thing, do it. Like even I've learned with the coding kids here, it's like, I don't know how to do a Lego Mindstorm. So I just go, well, we've got 9 here. Let's all just start doing it. And eventually now we've got kids that have learnt it and they can teach someone else now. But if we just sort of put it on the screen and went, oh, this is what it's about, so just get in and get your community. Guys, I'm buying a Raspberry Pi. Who else wants to order one? Get them to do it. Even if they don't do anything with it, but if they've got it, they're on the road,
I'll have a play. And
Yeah, for sure.
Just a quick question, Kieran.
Yeah.
With the Raspberry Pis, like we're currently running a Bitcoin node and a Lightning node via Luna node connected to our BTC Pay server for
cool.
Bitcoin payments on our VPN startup. Now,
Nice.
Using the Raspberry Pi, could we replace Luna nodes like a hosting node service and go direct with the
100%?
Yeah, because this is a way that we can bring a lot of entrepreneurs and onboard them through Bitcoin, like School of Bitcoin, because a lot of them are really interested in that, but the process is scary to them. So
yeah, it's complex. Yeah, no, bingo, 100%. I haven't tried BTC Pay Server yet. But yeah, we can figure it out for sure. It's an app that you just install on Citadel. I'll show you the interface actually. Hang on. Oh, and it's got this really cool thing called Tailscale. So Tailscale gives you. I'll show you. Where am I? Sure. It gives you a. Did you see that okay?
Yep.
So go Citadel. Oh. No, wrong IP. So see that weird IP at the top there? So whatever it is, that's a unique identifier on a VPN network specific for this. And it's literally just an app you install. And Citadel. And away you go. So you're in, and then you have your Bitcoin, your Lightning, your connect your wallet. So this is where you go through and you connect other ones. So at the moment, I've got my Bitcoin miners, which are out that window, connected to Samurai that talks directly to my node sort of thing. So that's why I was tweeting yesterday that I'm officially sovereign, because it's like I'm not using anyone else's node to connect to it.
Yeah,
but you go through, and it's got, there was the other one I was talking about, Blockstream Green. So that's the liquid one. So I've got that connected as well. So I'm going to have a play with that at some point. But basically you go App Store, and it's just got all these awesome apps that you can sort of build into it off the bat. And obviously Elements on there, so we can have a play with that when you get it rocking. I did see, there you go, BTC Pay Server. So literally just install it, and then away you go. Tailscale is the other one. So Tailscale, like literally, that's what I'm running now. You can get any device you have, and then connect that like from your phone or whatever it is, and it just works really well. But yeah, I think the short answer is it looks like you can definitely do that. It's just a matter of getting.
I'll order the Raspberry Pi today or tomorrow as well. I'll order an 8 gig one and start getting the process going.
Awesome. Sounds good. Did you want to do updates on the meetup for tomorrow, Gordon? I think you're muted.
Yeah, I think there's, you know,
URL and plans for Thursday. Yeah. New URL.
yeah,
I haven't set it
I
up
think
yet.
I had an idea, just the format, you know, I've got the great fortune of Marvin coming in. Marvin created the Marvin created ExecutedDAO, which is now being forked off to by one of the guys, StartupDAO, which looks like it's going to be a great tool for people to just build off the shelf DAOs.
Sweet.
He's a really smart guy. Very fortunate to have him come in. So I thought just talking about a couple of things just quickly in terms of, you know, his experience at you know, him being at the Stacks Foundation and becoming a startup, and but you know, and how to inspire and encourage people into the funnel of learning Clarity, because I think he works with the Clarity universe as well, and runs the Clarity, is one of the trainers at the Clarity universe, Clarity camps.
Yeah, awesome. That'll be really good.
So yeah, it's I thought just a bit of, you know, it's quite open Q&A. I think to get the most benefit out of his time is getting questions, keeping it pretty tight so that we can get as much content on how to build our community from him.
Yeah,
that would be, I think, the goal. So the outcome of this would be for anyone that's thinking about building or wants to learn Clarity and become a dev, is to enroll in the next Clarity camp.
Yep.
Which is a virtual camp. They're 6 weeks. The third one's running now. It started at the start of July. So there must be another one not too far away. I think they onboarded or sent out opportunities for 200 people that were on the wait list.
Well, I think Adam's got plans for us for that specifically as well with this new rollout that he's doing. So
okay, awesome.
Yeah, so we might not have to enroll, but we'll have a chat with him and see.
Yeah, sure. In terms of running our own Clarity camp in Australia, I think there's there would be a lot to learn. You know, there's 20 odd YouTubes there of previous Clarity camps. It would be some sort of target we can work towards, but us getting, or people getting involved and getting up to speed, so that if that was relevant to build one, and then what's the purpose, what's their outcomes if they run Clarity camps here? So it's really getting that. It becomes, I think, one you're creating. If I take an example of, say, the Algro Hub in Australia, they've got a HR person and a dev person, which is a resource for project builders to tap into. So, you know, you've got the dev side, but then you've got the turning the ideas into reality side. So which then brings in your VCs or your funding models. And so, yeah, I think there's a couple of businesses that are going to grow out of this.
For sure. No, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So that was
quite quickly within, the guys from Meld Ventures joined us a little while ago. I think can't remember which discussion that was in. So we've emailed out to them. They've got great experience. They've built out multiple projects in Algorand. They're interested in the stack space. So we've reached out to them and say, how does it look? What are you looking for there? What do you think we should be building? How we should build it rapidly?
Exactly. No, it's gonna be awesome.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, really exciting. Jacques said he was going to join us again, but he must be busy. Chisholm TAFE, so the space update. So yeah, like we said before, Karen, so it won't be in Chisholm this month, but next month. So we'll just have to wait till then. El Salvador updates. Did you want to update us on El Salvador, Electra?
Yeah, I'm going. And
so cool.
So I'm going to be staying at the conference hotel, so don't have to travel far and get the most of it. I'll be there a few days before it starts. And I was just reading yesterday about Honduras has now established Bitcoin Valley.
Yeah,
so do the same thing, and it's just a short plane trip from San Salvador. So. I would really like
nice.
I want to make the most of this for us and just use it as an opportunity to network, seek out partnerships, take your guidance on it completely, and interact on behalf of Digital Playhouse School of Bitcoin to
hell yeah. It's gonna be
connections
awesome.
from there. And start developing a regional adoption strategy as a research outcome from the trip.
Yep.
And to with you know, gather materials that we can use in School of Bitcoin. So I'll be in constant communication with everyone.
We could potentially. Sorry, Michael, you got to go. No worries. Thanks.
Yeah, I've got to go, guys.
Nice to see you,
Thank you.
Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
Hey.
See you next time. Yeah, we can potentially onboard people there to like either School Bitcoin or just use the Google Classroom once we have it set up. And I suppose like Spanish speaking people might find it a bit difficult, but we can figure something out. So yeah,
Michael mentioned in the
He
chat
speaks
that he's Spanish.
I'm trying to get Michael and Trace to come.
Yeah. Great idea.
Yeah, we'll keep pursuing the lady too from Brisbane. She was quite keen. I think it's just a matter of pursuing and Michael Spanish. I think we can
For sure.
I'd
make
like
that a
someone
reality.
to come with me who speaks Spanish. That would be great.
Definitely. Oh gosh.
I ran into the clients I was late with this morning. We were talking about, I was sharing what we're doing here, and they said, look, we've got a charity in Indonesia. He said, please send me over the stuff. We'll see if we can. He said, I'm very interested in what you guys are doing, because they do a bunch of stuff with kids. He didn't go into it, but education and different things. So
awesome. And then finally, we've got the Digital Playhouse website. Yes, I think that is priority.
Look, I don't think we have too much SEO to lose at this stage. With everything that we're doing right now, I think we need the focus of what we're doing on the front page, because really when people come to check you out, they look at your homepage, and if it isn't consistent with what you're talking about, with your main goals and vision, front and center. And look, we whipped it up last year when we just opened this place, and we had a very localized view, but now our view is bigger.
Yeah.
And there's more going on. So I think the priority this month, really, if we can make some time to just work together, let's just set up a .org.au website. We started last week having a look at the site structure. I recommended let's improve on that, and can we just make it real basic, as long as the site structure is there, and integrate coin payments.
Do we want to do it today at some point? I've got some time.
Today's good. I'm free Wednesday, Friday.
I thought a lot about the different components. We've got the School of Bitcoin website. We've got the Stacks website. We've essentially got the Digital Playhouse, which has really just become an events website and blog website somewhat at the moment. One of the key components that one of the key components I think for the foundation is the charity. And start directing that for capital rate, like for donation raising. Yes. So we've got all the things we're doing, but then we really need that easy and portal for the foundation.
I want to bring people to Digital Playhouse Foundation so they see our bigger vision and purpose, what we're about. And that's what our projects are about.
Yes.
So the projects that we have, Stacks, Bitcoin, Accountants on Chain, they're all
the
speaking to the mission, the charitable purpose of Digital Playhouse. So they might have their own sort of websites, but really we want people to, to bring traffic to Digital Playhouse. That's kind of the verification spot, but they might, I think we've got separate pages. I'll do a separate page for I don't know, I may just need a Google Classroom really for Accountants on Chain, but I like bringing accountants to the Digital Playhouse website because I want their buy-in on our bigger purpose. So they see the bigger picture, not just something they have to learn to do accounting.
And the method that we've gone, Electra's taken that lead into going, attend free or by donation. Well, that's...
I need to up that a bit because only 10% are paying, and I'm a bit disappointed. So I think I need to make more of an effort of them realizing that this is a volunteer thing that I'm doing to knowledge share with you. You're getting value from it. And this is a fundraiser for Digital Playhouse. But to do that, people have got to understand what you are and why you exist.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where it came back to that purpose. What's the purpose? Why are we doing this for you?
Yeah.
And why we want to provide an open source free content community, but you've got the capacity, you're earning from this. Please put in.
If you're an accounting student and you don't have money, we have a free option. But if you can afford, pay the donation, because it's all our events say free plus X amount donation.
Yeah. If we can work, if that model works, that'd be awesome.
And it's really, and they're getting CPD from it.
What about the model that like ABIB are running. So like the idea of you can contribute or you can participate for free, but to have a say and to have some ownership over it, that's when you contribute to it. So maybe we could do something similar to that.
Great. That sort of goes in that line to with the DAO model was really
well, that's where we're heading.
a concept.
Yeah.
I mean, in doing a project like what I'm doing at the advanced diploma, I applied it to doing a DAO for the charity. But I've got so much tech to learn about building software. I've not really got it a model which is like something I'm going, let's just do it because it's sort of too important. But it's got a bit of a structure on that. How do you get that interaction between the donor and the outcomes? And so what if you want to participate, and it means you have to be a participant. If you want to have a say in the outcomes, you need to be a participant and you need to donate. So it's a bit like that, as in, that's what Kieran said. Is it the ABIS?
This one. So that's the model. So you have these are all the members.
Oh yeah, sure.
So you have what is Toshi Rara. You go join.
Great. That's good.
To be a sponsor costs that. So this is all you get for that. Community voice costs nothing. And then to be a member with a say, and you can join the private groups and add topics for meeting agendas and all that sort of stuff. That's when you become a full-fledged member. So we could do.
So maybe I could do something like this. But anyway, I'm loath to spend my weekends building any further on the Wix website to do this.
Yes.
So let's get on to making the .org website what we need it to be.
And I thought also if we can invite Bianca, I hadn't invited her in yet, but get Bianca in. She's the financial planner who's had a lot to do with charity. She said she was interested in helping us because like building that charity part out right.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great if we could
get her involved. If we've got the and on a WordPress, whatever we could easily build on and regularly updates. We're not going to build it all at once. We're all going to log in and add to it here and there.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, this model could work for Score Bitcoin as well. Just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
So I like going out and fundraising. I like going out and getting people, but I need something that they can easily go to and go bang. So you guys do that for me, and I'll work hard to bring
call to actions on the website. It'll be like, subscribe, do this, do that, go here.
I have no problems asking for money in this world. For we've all got so much. We're all so fortunate. There's that much. There's if the media and is correct, and I probably trust Russian TV channel more than anything, but on their channel is saying that there is a lot of, as I grew up as a kid, there were so many thousands of kids in Bangladesh that were starving in other countries, and now it's Sri Lanka, and it's all these other countries,
poor Sri Lanka.
Like, if we can't all, it's a bit of a
help to some degree. 100%. Awesome. Well, maybe we'll reconvene this Arvo and have a look at the website. I'll just have a look at my calendar and find some time. That was great. I think we've got a lot, and then we've got it's tomorrow, isn't it, for the meetup? Yeah. Awesome.
And I'd like it for our website to give access so that if a car ever wants to, could contribute a blog where we can all log in and just keep the content, adding our content, keeping it fresh, a central location.
Yep.
You can tag it School of Bitcoin or tag it Stacks.
Karen, do you want to meet? Have you been in one of our School of Bitcoin meetups? Can you meet everyone? We've got Karen. She's comes here all the time. She wants to help us with the Instagram feed into.
Hi, Karen.
Into everything.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
We're going to get that happening today.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Well, we might leave it there then, guys, and reconvene later on, and then tomorrow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Karen, I've got homeschoolers at 1 o'clock and right through to 5 o'clock. We're here at the Playhouse. If ever you want to jump in, every Wednesday from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, we've got stuff going on with kids in here. If ever you want to drop in and say hi, or Karen, if you want to drop in and say hi to the kids, you just let me know, and I'll pop you up on the screen and see what they're doing, or
cool.
Give them something to think about.
Would love to, and I'll let you know beforehand. I'll just check.
Anytime. We're here every Wednesday. We're rolling every week.
Fantastic. Awesome. Good on you.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot. Great to see you. Bye.